Hello, everybody. What's up, everybody? Really happy to be kicking off really civil rights here. I'm Spooty, and I'll be showing off StepMania non-HG, specifically the full Mods Bootcamp series. It's a series of visual mod files for a 4-panel dance game. I'm here with Ellie, who is graciously a part of Pad in my basement. He also made the Mods Bootcamp 1 file, so you'll have some commentary for that. And I've also in commentary booth got Becky and Taro, who worked on MVC 3.
Hello, I'm Daiki.
Hi, I'm Taranuk.
Yeah, so anyway, this is going to be we're just going to blast them all off at once. You can see that length field over on the left there, 250 seconds and 96 centiseconds. So yeah, that's nearly 3.5 hours of continuous play. We're gonna go ahead and knock that out. I think we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I think we're ready. So yeah, you can start time in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
Let's go!
Good luck.
All right, here we go.
I'm already trying to remember which one the first song is.
Fly to the next world.
Yeah, that's right.
The guy who made these, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, at the same time, this was released, what, 2016? Almost 10 years ago now?
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, we're approaching a decade old on these files. And some
Oh.
of these have aged really
Yeah.
well, I think.
Decade old, don't say that. Anyway,
That's how you...
yeah, this is Fly to Next World, released the Sonics remix. This is one of the qualifiers that people decided to play as like the easier version of the qualifier for Mods Bootcamp 1. There was this and another song we're gonna see a bit later on. These files were in tiers, actually all of MVC 1, 2, and 3. So there's 4 tiers total. This is a tier 1 file, essentially. And this goes mostly by visual mod difficulty, somewhat with the steps, but the real focus is on like the visuals that we're seeing. And Daiki and Taro, you could probably talk about how the game generally works in terms of like gameplay mechanics and timing and such.
All right. So I've actually gotten like fairly optimized at explaining how the heck people read this game. There are 4 main ways to read this game. The first one is by the arrow colors. I think that one is the most important. There are several different colors that arrows can be, and those actually give you the rhythm. And this is really important because a lot of the time the arrows will be all over the screen doing whatever, spaced however they feel like. And if you can see that the red arrows are on the beat, the blue arrows are on the off beats, and the green arrows are 16th notes to start with, you can use that to read the rhythm of the chart without knowing anything else about it. And this can be used to sort of sight read things. Like, without knowing the song, you can already hear what the rhythm is going to be just by the color of the arrows. The second really important thing for reading the game is the fact that you can generally trust the columns to be in a left, down, up, right configuration. That's the standard configuration. So everything else being obfuscated, you should sort of assume that it's still going to be left, down, up, right. And this is very useful because, as mentioned in the previous section, the arrows can be wherever. The third main is the arrow direction. And so if it's a down arrow, it points down, you have to step on down to hit it as it crosses the targets. This one sort of takes priority. So all else being obfuscated, if you can see that it is clearly a right arrow and it's sort of unobfuscated in that respect, it is definitely going to be a right arrow, and you have to sort of trust that.
It's also Dream Control. The
right.
second song that we had. We're on the third song, Common World Domination.
Okay. Yeah. The fourth and final thing is the vertical spacing of the arrows, which it's probably the least useful and the one that is most commonly messed with. But when you have nothing else, you really sort of have to make do. And generally, a chart will not remove more than 2 of those reading methods at a time. So it's sort of more like a puzzle that you have to figure out and untangle in real time than a memorization or reaction time thing. The community actually sort of frowns upon memorization and reaction time based reaction time funny moments, as they're sometimes called, and generally avoided in charts and derided when they do appear. So that's pretty much how this game functions.
Yeah, just like normal DDR, that you can actually use those same kind of cues for the most part when you're playing normal DDR or ITG. It's just that, as you've probably already been seeing, the arrows are doing very funny things and moving all over the place to songs. And also to note, these are very scripted movements, so they were all lovingly handcrafted and developed.
Combination. I'm gonna throw out there. If we can get like, let's say another $10 in the next like few minutes before we get to the song, I'll sing along to Disco Kawaii.
We have
Alright.
like 5 more songs. This is Catadioptering.
I wanted to add upon what Taro said earlier about like memorization is generally frowned upon when like making mod files like this. Yeah, that's pretty much true with like the whole mod file community. And a big thing to note is all of these files, when they were originally played, no one knew what they looked like beforehand. They were all like what we call sight reads. So like people were seeing these for the first time. And again, like Taro said earlier, there's some things you can intuit based on like how you know how to play the game, like vertical scrolling or arrow direction or arrow color. So you just kind of utilize all of those things in your toolkit on the fly in order to be able to read and hit everything.
And I guess also to clarify, when we say memorization, we're talking more about, we don't like when you're forced to like go into the editor, pick out like, oh, this set of arrows is a left, down, up, right here with this rhythm. I'm going to memorize that this happens at this exact time so that when it comes, I can just hit those arrows. We mean that is frowned upon. There are certain mods where it will flash like arrows, for example, and then make them disappear and then force you to play it back, which is a different kind of memorization, but that's much closer to like an actual game design mechanic that is included in files, and it's obviously much more fun to execute that in a first time playing a file or something, rather than being completely blindsided by something that you can't read at all.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? Really?
I was gonna say, honestly, like now that we've done it too early for Disco Kawaii, sing along, so you know what? I'll give you an echo sing along. All the colors that we shine, me of the falling free. What the hell's going on? Can someone tell me please? Why am I switching faster than the panels on the feet? I'm black and I'm white now, something is right. My enemy's invisible, I don't know how to fight. The trouble is, more than I can say. When I'm up against that girl in the beer. I am switching faster than the chance on TV. I'm like, something isn't right. My enemy's invisible. I don't know how to fight. What the hell's going on? Can someone tell me, please? I am switching faster than the chance on TV. I'm like, and I'm like, something isn't right. My enemy's invisible. I don't know how to fight. Trouble is more than I can take. When I'm up against that go in the mirror. Trouble is more than I can take. When I'm up against that go in the mirror. Alright, thank you. I'll be here for the next 3 hours.
This could be a long 3.5 hours, huh?
enough air to sustain you for the next 3 hours.
That's actually the first time I'm hearing all of the lyrics to that song.
Oh man.
But yeah, donate
Yeah.
more if you want to submit that with Disco Kawaii.
Disco Quiet will be worth it.
I don't know the lyrics to that one either, so I'm actually looking forward to that. I'll donate myself if
It's
I have to.
Disco Kawaii. Yeah.
Okay, well luckily, so this is a Moon of Corel. This doesn't have any lyrics, so Spinny gets a little bit of a break.
Doesn't have lyrics with that, dude.
If we get $1,000, he'll do Usate as well, way down the line.
Oh my god.
Dude, I don't know the words. Don't.
It's okay. We'll feed you the lyrics as you play. The chart will feed you.
But yeah, also, another thing to note specifically about Spoody Biscuit here is that he plays without using the bar in the back for the most part. A lot of players, actually, the majority of players tend to hold on to that for both balance and stability and just stamina conservation. Spoody has none of that, and he'll be playing without that, so it's a much heavier toll on the body, to say the very least, for 3.5 hours.
The amount of steps, for sure.
Yeah, the doctor only recommended me take 10,000 steps per day. You're getting quadruple that.
In a 3-hour span.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It's kind of going between like flip and not flip when it's just doing that rolling fade at the end. That's one of my favorite effects from NBC1, I think.
I think
Yeah,
Disco
that's
Kawaii 2 songs away now.
That's pretty
Here's some-
close. Do we have? Gotta get those donations in for the karaoke.
Alright, here's some good memorization gimmick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
This is probably one of my favorite like effects in Mods Bootcamp 1. It's so like, especially the part that comes later where the 2 arrows are flashing in alternate. It's a very commonly used technique in mod reading known as chunking, where you have to sort of look at the next few arrows in your head. Like you have to store them in your mind. You see them flash briefly and then play it back, kind of like a Simon Says. And it's just one of those really rewarding things that feels really good to hit a bunch of arrows that are literally not on screen. Makes you feel like a gamer god.
Also, thanks to Fuddlebot for that $25 donation. We're getting that Disco Conway sing along.
Oh, let's go!
Oh! Get you there, Mr. Hop. That's right, by the way.
Trans rights.
Trans rights.
We got the last note hitting you in the face here.
We have come up on the last of Tier 1 for MVC1, so things are going to take a pretty noticeable difficulty jump pretty soon.
I mean, probably now, arguably. this
Oh
is
no,
like-
the miss. The misses!
Oh, yeah.
So this is Mayu. This is... Actually, I think this was the first file I made for NBC1, if I'm remembering right. Maybe it showed because, like, this is so much harder than any other Tier 1. Like, by a good margin, I would say.
Yeah. I do remember when, around the time this was released, everyone very fondly referred to this as a Tier 2, even though it was placed in Tier 1.
Yeah.
I think one of the hard parts about this is specifically the rhythms. If you don't know the song and you've never seen this file before, it has a lot of syncopated rhythms. It has a lot of little parts that start a little bit offbeat, and that can be very, very tough to sight read and hit properly with accuracy as well, since this game scoring is very heavily based in accuracy. So you can see Spoody getting Fantastics, which is the best window, and then Excellence, which are the window down, and some Greats, and of course misses. I think everything else is turned off. There's
Alright.
usually other windows that occur, but
Here we are.
I'll be quiet for this.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. Beauty. Please, electronic music. Yeah. Please, beautiful music. Yeah. Please, dance music. Yeah. Dance musical. Thank you, Dio. Chico kawaii. Chico kawaii. Chico kawaii. Chico kawaii. Alright, there we go. Thank you for the donations, everybody. This one is or no, it's not this one, it's back.
This is backflow.
Yeah. The other classic song.
Get Shrek.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like the middle of the tier 2s now. It was the second.
That's only the second tier too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty proud of this one, of how it turned out. There's like a lot of driven dropping going on. I don't think we've talked about what that means, so
We've
Oh, no,
seen
we
it, but haven't talked about it yet.
yeah, it's basically like, normally arrows scroll towards the targets, but what if the targets scroll towards the arrows? That's basically all driven dropping is. Like, the targets are scrolling the same amounts in the opposite direction to offset the arrow scrolling. So there's a lot of that going on. I don't know. There's just like a lot of cool effects with this one in particular, I say. Right here you
I
see a
love
driven
this
drop.
skew movement.
Also maybe a good reminder, like, as this is a really, really long-a-thon, it's important to stay hydrated. That goes for everyone in chat as well. There's a lot coming up. Even within this one run, like, there's still like 3 hours to go.
Hey, Ellie, can you tell me what this button does?
Maybe chat can tell us what this button does.
Oh, I might have to get back to you on that. Like, oh, I found out.
I have done sing along to this before. I'm not going to do it today.
Button that makes you laugh and then gasp. Yeah, this is pet peeve. It's kind of reminiscent if you know the sound voltex chart to this. Actually, that's maybe another thing we haven't talked about. Is literally every single song in Mods Camp 1, 2, and 3, they're all from another rhythm game called Sound Voltex, which is like a Bitmani game. We took huge inspiration from that game and its like soundtrack and all of its like effects that it does by itself. So shout outs to that game, very fun, as well as not ITG, of course.
Even though the vast majority of the files, well, all the files from MBC 1 and 2 are open ITG compatible, so just with the base game that you've seen on the arcade cabinets, like, it's compatible with that and not any custom software or any other thing that we've needed to do.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to think about. Like, originally ITG2 came out in what, like 2005, 2006? Like, literally 20 years ago?
2005.
These files, they work just fine as they are if you were to, like, put them on hardware from back then.
It's pretty interesting to think of, yeah, going back in time and showing people this content.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it's a Ruvius time.
This one has, like, a lot of violent back and forth. Like, you see the perspective changes, like, with the playfield tilting back, tilting forward. Those are, like, perspective mods called Hallway Distant. You kind of see why they're named as such. Now we have, like, a lot of, just speed mod going back and forth, like, with the expansion and contractions. That's pretty much, like, the main kind of gimmick and theme with this file, I would say.
I think it's probably talk about like a little more advanced, like principle attack, because it starts pretty heavy crossovers.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to take that, or...
Yeah, so when you're playing DDR or ITG, or in this case not ITG, generally you want to be stepping with one foot after the other, so you go left, right, etc. And all of the charts have that kind of patterning in mind, so you can have that additional piece of information while you're playing and start reading these charts. You can basically trust the charting, and you have some foot parity to go off of. However, that does mean that certain patterns will have you hitting a right arrow with your right foot, a down arrow with your left foot, and then a left arrow with your right foot again, crossing your foot over your body. So there's a lot of more complex patterns like that that are a little bit harder to read in terms of mod files, but if you can see them and hit them, you're well on your way to being a seasoned mod file player, I think.
Nice.
So next
Here it comes.
Profession.
We're starting with the unconventional files now.
Yeah, this file's got some funny stuff going.
Yeah, like...
Oh,
Sounds
okay.
chill.
Yeah. Like, even with all the stuff we've seen so far, this one is kind of in a league of its own, I would say. And you're about to see that. So the turrets are way in the background. The arrows are coming from, like, basically behind the camera, behind the screen. And, like, that's a big part of this file. So now the arrows are kind of, like, circling the drain, if you want to call it that. Going towards the targets in the background.
This file destroyed people when it was released. Mostly because in that constant stream of arrows, there were double taps, repeated arrows where you had to hit the same arrow twice with the same foot. And if you don't see that, you're going to continue with the wrong foot parity for that entire stream and just kind of explode and lose all your life.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can talk about like the light bar and the trail mechanic. We haven't seen the trail yet.
Yeah. We're hoping to keep that trend up. So yeah, normally you would see like this HUD on the top, but pretty much all mod files get rid of it, because you would see like the song progress bar at the top, the scoring percentage, and the life bar, as we were mentioning. Life bar in ITG is kind of unforgiving, especially with mod files, I would say. There's a lot of nuance that can be talked about, but basically, Fantastic's excellence, great. Increase the life bar. There's also decent and way offs, which.
Yeah, I got job. I just thought about
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's an ad running right now.
Aww.
That's okay. Thanks to Taro Nuke for the $5 donation, and also Zero for the $100 donation.
Hell yeah.
What does that earn us, Spooty?
Oh, this part of the chart has a really interesting technique that doesn't really show up that much in mod files. Forced double steps. So normally when you have to, normally when you're playing these charts, a big thing you can rely on that makes it easier to read these charts is the fact that you're always going to be alternating feet. So like if you use your left foot, you always know that unless it's the same arrow, your right foot has to hit the next arrow. This chart breaks that rule, using mines to denote that you have to use the same foot twice. That ended up tripping up a lot of people during the tournament this was played in. It's a kind of weird thing you have to do.
Yeah.
Tier 3s!
Oh yeah.
The quintessential column swap file.
What's going on? I'm seeing double. There's like 4 of each column. Oh, true. This file's Ayakachi. It does one main thing, and I think it does it like pretty well and has a lot of variation on it. You could kind of
Iconic.
yeah, you could kind of assume what the gimmick is here. So there's like 2 playfields overlapped and offset from each other horizontally, and I take full advantage of that. There's so much column swapping going on like during these parts, and that's like a lot of what this file does. It's going with the like chopped up vocals in the backing track. I guess the other thing is like everything looks like it's a jump, but most things, like these are actually jumps, but you see like 2 of the same note. We only have to hit 1, obviously. It's just like there to kind of throw you off and like be very disorienting.
Oh, this was a little bit ago, but huge shoutouts to Zero, one of the people sort of pioneering the newer mod template that people use for making mod files that really simplifies a lot of the crust that we had to do to make the files back when we were making these.
Very true.
Yeah.
Because this was this still in? No, this wasn't in the CRS era.
No, this is post CRS, very thankfully.
Like immediately post CRS, like it's pretty shortly after it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally mod files were written in what were CRS files, which was basically defining which mod turned on at which second, not beat, but second, right?
Yes. And
I mean, that's still what was going on in
themselves.
these files.
Well, in these files, you had some program. You were able to basically script a little bit of it instead of needing to define it in like basically what was a text file.
Yeah.
the move to Lua scripting really improved a lot of the workflow of making these.
Oh yeah, also like Spoody said, shout out to Toho. Another huge inspiration for like people in the mod pile community. Especially old heads like myself. Yeah, this is Opium and Performance. This is actually a remix of, I believe, Third Eye from 11, Subterranean Animism. Voltex having a lot of like Toho arrangements, especially back in the earlier days. Nice waterfall effect here.
All right, I'm gonna have to tell you something about this next song. Disclose it to you.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't this close, but it was that close?
1, 2, 3.
They would
This
never.
is this close. Oh, those wiggles are one of my favorite effects in Mod Boot Camp. It's just such a
Yeah.
really silly, like,
It fits the song so well. That's the main draw of mods, is the visual effects that look like what the song sounds like. It's very aesthetically pleasing to see the song, to hear the song do something, and see that represented in what the arrows are doing so well.
Oh yeah. I've been seeing that a lot in just modern games as well, like when things go to the music, not even just like rhythm game oriented. And like, I'm just glad that trend's catching on. It just makes whatever you're doing with the game that much more satisfying and immersive, I would say.
I do feel like things getting synced to the music has become a lot more common, and I think that's really cool. I feel like, especially in rhythm games, it has to have at least been partially inspired by ITG mods.
Yeah.
Also, Easter egg, you have tall combo here. I don't know what causes that
I
actually.
forget why that happened.
Was that a bug? Is that just like an oversight?
It might be a marathon thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, does it only happen in marathons?
I
No
wouldn't be
idea.
surprised if it's something from the code in this file.
We're back.
This is one.
Break my arm.
Yeah.
Break it.
This is one of my favorite files, I would say, in MVC1.
Break
Maybe
Yeah.
my
the
fart.
specific part. Just this, like,
Yeah, this effect is so good.
yeah.
I love it because it's like, it's not really that hard to read. If you're used to sort of mods in general, because all the arrows generally stay in their correct lanes. If you get decent at throwing away slightly incorrect information, you can sort of parse this like it's normal playfields, but it still looks really impressive.
Ah, break, my beloved.
Yeah, yeah.
My arm.
This one's awful.
This part is impossible to time. Oh, yeah.
You guys tell me how impossible it is time over music.
We can do this with the screen. So, the effects that we can do are not limited to just messing with the arrows, but we basically have full control of the engine almost. So we can do a lot of things like displaying those nice error graphics in front of, or the test graphics in front of the screen, or even shrinking it and moving it all over the place.
Yeah, it's fun to just kind of throw the screen around. Also, Crumbs with the 5 gift subs. Very awesome. And
Oh yeah, shout out to the Frogs.
Yeah,
Major
yeah.
shout out. If y'all are in rhythm game spaces, you probably know them.
oh yeah. So this is Inf Blaster or Infinite Blaster. I know that this is the second file I've ever made for Mods with Camp 1.
Huh.
It's like a really simple gimmick, just like very rapid reverse, non-reverse columns.
And so, one fun thing to note about these columns reversing up and down is that there are 3 permutations of this kind of reverse. I guess 4. Split, cross, alternate, and reverse. And the first 3 reverse 2 of the different columns, and the last one reverses all 4. And with a combination of all 4 of those, you can do stuff like this,
Yeah.
where you can reverse basically any column arbitrarily. You just have to calculate out the math for it. It's much more simplified in not ITG, where you have column-specific reverses, where you can just target one column and say, okay, reverse. But like back in this era, we had to fully calculate out the effect that each of what we call SCAR gimmicks are because of the first letter of the
SCAR.
mod names.
This system was probably come up with by Glenn, and I think it's really, really clever for what it is. It kind of functions like the game Mastermind, where you have to like work out what columns you can move using what mod and the way they interact with each other, and it's sort of it turns into like a logic puzzle to write out the mods themselves, and it's really fun.
Here's a classic mod. This is used in like nearly every single mod file, I'm pretty sure. We call this a Black Sphere after the file. The song is named Black Sphere, and it's the receptors kind of spinning around each other like this. It is so prolific in terms of how much it's used in general modding.
Yeah.
I think Black Sphere is my overall favorite Mods Bootcamp 1 mod file. It's just so fun.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to what Warriors of Boot was doing with the playfield like coming in and out of each other, but like now it's vertical instead of just on the z-axis. I also want to mention for Black Sphere, this file specifically, this was the other qualifier for Mods Bootcamp 1.
It's the DJ. It's the me off.
Let's go! Yeah, so for Mods Bootcamp 1, there were 2 qualifiers. The first one was the very first file we played, Fly the Next World. And this is Black Sphere, which is the harder one. I gave like players that played this one like a little bit of a score bonus.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough. It's one of those like live and learn things. So like Mods Bootcamp 2 and 3 only had the 1 qualifier, which was I think objectively better. Just like in terms of how the tournament was structured. But yeah. Just coming up in the end, kind of doing a little do-si-do circle dance around each other with the playfields.
And that's going to be our last tier 3.
Correctional, get it on T1.
Yeah,
Huh.
5 songs left. So yeah, now we are to the tier 4s. This is the easiest one by I think a good margin. Maybe arguably some of the tier 3s are harder. But yeah, so this is Firestorm. Pretty prolific song, I think, from Simultax. Actually just got crossed over to DDR not too long ago, I think.
I should have looked up the link to the song here. Damn.
So you could like mumble along to them.
This song is really good.
Yeah, shout out to Antia. I love that, like, just reggae style jungle core.
Yeah.
It's very
My
good.
favorite memory of this song is I was charting this song for another tournament, And my mom walks in while I was charting it and heard the song and goes, "Oh, that sounds like fun."
But yeah, as we are in the tier 4s, we're gonna see plenty of difficulty jumps, so much more focus from Spoody, especially with the note density being a lot higher, I think, just in general. I'm looking, I have a stat sheet. Yeah, most of the songs in MPC 1 hover around like a 5 notes per second, or mid 5 notes per second. This is the least dense tier 4. And that is gonna kick up very fast with the remaining 4 left in this MPC 1 section.
Yeah, the charts really ramp up in difficulty after that point.
Yeah, it's like going from alpha to omega.
Yeah, that's what a really tough midsection.
Yeah, so this one is Alpha Omega. Really, like Smitty said, iconic middle section, and we'll talk about that when we get to there. But now we have this like really
Tall note.
yeah, really tall, thin arrows for a second.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
at the time this came out, the middle section of this was definitely one of the parts that the community was like, huh? This is literally not possible. How do you read this? But like after we got more familiar with what it's actually doing, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. It's still really, really threatening though.
Yep.
You might turn it down, but that's your way.
The main thing that gets really challenging about it is, in addition to the notes getting very, very stretched, the receptors go off the top of the screen as they get spaghettified by this black hole. So you eventually start having to chunk, like, the rhythms as they go off screen to the targets.
Nice.
Nice work.
Solid left.
Oh, while I was explaining the arrow colors, I didn't mention the purple arrows. Purple arrows are a catch-all for all swing rhythms in this game. So that's 12ths, 24ths, and 48th flams, which don't show up in the marathon much, but there are 24ths still. Yeah, so the purples can be quite confusing because they can stand for multiple rhythms. It's just any sort of triplet-y thing, the arrow will basically be purple.
This
And
is also a sorry. This is also
oh
a
my God.
very notorious file. Pieces of a Dream.
Yeah.
We can talk about pieces.
Yeah, Ellie, if you want to.
Yeah. So, as you could probably notice, the Pieces of a Dream is very, very focused on like what we call fade mods, so like hidden, sudden, and basically just fading the arrows in and out of certain vertical spaces. I love this effect too, like arrows are skewed one way and then they like fade in the other way. So we're going to come up on a really infamous part really shortly. There's going to be like a visual gap coming up where there's just like this one tiny spot that you can't see, but like in the middle of the screen. But the arrows stay there for like a very extended period of time, so it's kind of like short-term memorization. And here it comes right here. So like they're gonna kind of come to a stop in the middle. This requires so much concentration.
It's super, super mean. It doesn't look anywhere near as mean as it is. It's like, you know, in Rhythm Heaven, there's this one mini game, the batting show, where there's a curtain in the middle, and the baseball stops in the middle for an indeterminate amount of time. And it doesn't make any physical sense how much time it spends in there. and you just have to make do by relying on the rhythm cues. That's what this is, but in mod form.
That rhythm have the game up specifically. More on that later.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. I love this thing.
Now we got some blast beats going. Plastics Riot. That's the name of the song, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
This file just kind of does its own thing, and very violently so.
Oh yeah, another limitation that we've all had to work around when dealing with just OpenITG, or I guess vanilla files, I guess I would say, is that we only have 2 playfields to work with, a player 1 playfield and a player 2 playfield. In not ITG, you do have the luxury, I would say, of working with up to 8 players worth of notes, so 8 players worth of unique effects, as well as proxies, which can mirror the appearance of a playfield, and AFTs, which captures the screen and lets you display it again in various different ways. There's a lot of extra features that you have in not ITG to work with. However, there's so much creative usage of just game engine to get around all of that, such as flickers. So like at 59 FPS or whatever it was, moving playfield back and forth to make it look like there's multiple playfields around, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I sometimes refer to flickers as the Atari Pac-Man effect, because in Pac-Man on the Atari, they only had memory for one ghost. So what they would actually do is move that one ghost around the screen really, really fast, in order to simulate the appearance of there being 4 ghosts.
I would say that, like, the limitations of the engine back in the day really helped out with creativity and just like, how am I gonna make this effect? I want to do this, but I gotta think about it.
Last song of NBC1, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Deadlock Triple X. I think
Yep.
this effect is also pretty famous.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The falling
Of the
beat has
intro.
no one can read.
And this is the hard file in NBC1.
Yep.
You're about to see why.
I'd say the main challenge of this file is actually being able to react to it.
Yeah, it is the shortest song in NBC1, but it is the most dense at the same time.
Yeah.
It really packs a punch.
Got a few combinations of effects here. The Ayakashi effect we saw earlier, the doubled up playfield, and like the only being able to do like 2 columns at once as well.
This part requires so much reaction time and focus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this file might be a little bit reaction funny, just a tad.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot of misses. I hope he's... Yeah, you really don't get a lot of misses, by the way. The life system under the hood is 10 misses, you dead.
Yeah.
So...
We're
And
out
it
of
takes,
NBC1.
what, 50? It
Yeah.
takes, what, 50 to 60 misses to... Fantastics to recover your life bar from MT, so... It's pretty dangerous at all times. You can't, like, drop the ball at any point.
Yeah, we are on to NBC2, which means we go back to the bottom of difficulty. And I got much
Yeah, we're starting back over. This is Grip and Break Down. This was the qualifier for NBC2. So Mods Boot Camp 2 was developed by Condor Talon, solo developed after NBC1 was released by Windu, or done as a tournament, I would say. So these were run as site read tournament style events, where there's a bunch of people gathered at one place. Everyone leaves the room, was it? For the bracket matches. And yeah, it was just 1v1, whoever gets the better score, best of 3 on a pool of songs in these tiers, they would advance to the next match. So people were seeing all these files for the first time and trying their best to hit the arrows.
also I just want to, say, hey, we're on NBC2, yeah. You might think with 3 installments, that means we're a third of the way there. Nope, NBC3 is quite stronger than the other two, so we're looking forward to it now.
Admittedly,
How did that even happen?
Admittedly, MBC3 had like 4 people contributing files to it instead of just being a one-person effort. So it's understandable that there is a lot more files and a lot more content, and there was a lot of work put into all of these. I'll say that.
Yeah, for one person to make all of this content is a lot of things.
Which, I haven't said yet, but NBC2 is by Condor Panel.
Yeah, I did mention.
Okay,
It was there.
Sorry, it's hard to keep track of commentary and keep track of...
Yeah. I mean, you focus on the things that you need to focus on. Alright, second song, Virtual Sunrise. Yeah, and like I mentioned, all of these, I think it was mentioned before, are structured into tier 1, 2, 3, 4. We're back in the low difficulties of both steps, for the most part, and difficulty in reading mods. So we're returning to much more simple files. Like, for example, you can see in this, you can see the arrows the whole time. All that's being obfuscated is their color for a little bit. They're doing a little gentle wave back and forth. They're doing a vertical wave now as well. Like, very nice easing into difficulty mod files again.
Yeah, I think this file is rated 2, and Deathlock Triple X at the end of MVC1, I think it's rated 16. If I remember right.
Yeah.
It's like 15 or 16, I think.
Yeah.
So,
20 points,
cool random bit of trivia that I'm not sure anyone actually really knows. The reason why, so we actually use the arrows turning white as kind of like a game mechanic in not ITG, but the actual original reason why that happens is because of PS1 DDR. The stealth gimmicks, hidden, sudden, and stealth were actually from PlayStation DDR originally, and they were added into StepMania to simulate those. The DDR, the PS1 did not like doing transparency on objects. So if you'll look at, like, say a boss monster dying in Final Fantasy VII, it would actually switch to a different mode in order to fade out, where it only had a single color. And that's to reduce the number of colors that needed to be displayed at the same time as an alpha channel. So the arrows would turn a single color before they could fade out, and that's why that effect is the way it is.
We're in good high school. I think this is widely considered the easiest file.
I think you can find the lyrics to On Fire and pull them up on that, right?
The lyrics to this song.
I know all of them, and then Remy might just say various samples are heard. I'm not sure.
Several vocal samples can be heard.
But, like, maybe it has them.
Let's see what we got here.
If it doesn't, I'll just do my best. But, yeah, hey. I'll sing along to On Fire coming up with these songs.
Well,
Oh, that's true.
it says lyrics none, which isn't true.
Okay, I guess I'm doing my memory probably. Let's go into somewhere else.
Oh, Jump is also coming up, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We have Jump, we have Wave, Wave, Wave. Bring up cheat code lyrics. Oh, and Nekokuma Usa-san. There's a lot of good sing-alongs if you wanted to.
Okay, I can sing along to the chorus of Nekokuma Usata. I don't know what the bridge very long. Yeah, lyrics, none. Sorry.
Alright, we're in Rings of Rainbow.
There's that like Plastic Sprites-ish, like RGB text effect going
Yeah.
on as well.
Yeah, that's another thing to mention where I think in MPC2, Condor definitely used a bunch of cues from MPC1 and built off of those. And it's really fun to see kind of those callbacks continuing to happen. There's an ad happening right now.
Actually, yeah, on that note, there were a few, excuse me, a few files that I didn't finish in time or just like ran out of ideas. And some of the songs were actually used in MBC2, and I just gave Condor like the files to adopt. I think he used a few of the effects, maybe. And a couple of songs coming up. I want to say She Lost the Transmission and Trap Tracks, specifically. But yeah, like...
We might want to wait to say too much else until this ad is done as well.
True.
We'll let Rings of Rainbow play out.
Oh, yeah, there's an... Okay, yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on the ads, so...
You're on first one. I do not know any of the words here. Don't try to tell me to sing along.
Okay, I think we are back from ads.
Welcome
We are
back,
in-
everyone.
It's a Kokonatsu, right? You should have rehearsed and had both of you sing both of the parts for this
Oh my
duet.
god.
Like 8 different playfields out here. The song being a duet. It's like you'll see the one playfield do something.
Yeah. Another example of things you can think of that makes the playfields do things to the song and that like thematically fit. It's just these little touches that I think are very cute and lovely in these kinds of files.
Yeah. I think in the early days of mods, typically we wanted to try and keep the playfields kind of symmetric and the same so that like one player isn't at an advantage or disadvantage, but like I think with more modern day mod files, it's basically just both players, if 2 players are playing, are reading the screen in its entirety and getting all the information.
Yeah, you gotta be looking at the whole screen.
Jump is next.
Jump.
Yep.
I'll give my most enthusiastic jumps.
Are you gonna do the spins?
Sure.
So this song is called Jump. There's sequences of jumps in this. We'll see Spoody's cam, see if he does the spins there.
The style points.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Thankfully, Spoody isn't reading these files for the first time. There's been practice. These files have been out for years now. We generally know the rhythms and the arrow patterns, so it allows us to afford some funny things that we can do while playing.
Yeah. I don't know how much we've really talked about mines, actually, speaking of. Like, we,
Oh yeah.
we talked about them in Twin Rocket from NBC1 to donate, like, or notate, rather, certain kind of tech, I guess you want to say, for, like, unorthodox kind of patterning for steps. But also, in specifically mod files, sometimes they're used as like this anti-mash prevention, like because you can otherwise just quad mash, like use both of your feet with your fronts and your backs, like toes and heels, to quad mash everything to kind of cheese rating. But mines are there. It's just like as no rows basically. It's just saying like no, don't hit here. You can't mash because it depletes score and it depletes your life as well.
Here's Dawn of Asia. This is one of my favorite tier 1s, I think.
Yes.
This effect is so good that it uses later on in the file, where you will see the use of having only 2 playfields available in a really cool way.
Yeah, that like kind of Pac-Man flicker effect that Tara mentioned earlier.
This is one of the first proxy walls, I want to say. I think
Can't think of any
probably
other.
the first, probably the first proxy wall is past the bolted door. But that's not in this marathon.
I mean, there are multiple Dawn of Asia proxy walls in this marathon.
Yeah.
It's this effect right here. I love the design of this, having one playfield fully stealth, and when I say stealth, I mean fully with white arrows, and the other playfield with normal colors. It not only helps just the visual, but it also like separates out the 2 players and makes it like really kind for a tier 1
Yeah.
and a mod file that's supposed to be relatively simple. I think it's beautiful game design.
It's a lot easier to switch which one without losing where one ends and the other starts, because they're very clearly marked as different colors in a way that was sort of brought about by the limitations of the engine.
Nailed it.
It's so hard to keep up singing.
Yeah, I don't know how
When you're not like confident on the lyrics. Now I'm here. I'm on fire.
I don't know how you have the one strength for this.
We can all appreciate the effort.
Yeah. Yeah. Not even like several words can be heard, just none.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're at the end. This is the last one in tier 1.
This is a fun one, yeah. Let's just continue.
After this
This
is
is probably-
Musa saw, which I will warn you. It's a few minutes early to say. I need everyone in chat. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to press 2 buttons. But it's
I think,
not my fault, but I just let you guys know you're not caught up.
I think outside of a few effects in Twin Rocket and like Alpha Omega, this is probably the first file in the marathon that has like big major background change as part of the file. like several background changes.
Also, anyone who doesn't know this song, please try to spell it in Twitch chat. I'm going to say it and pronounce it. It is called Continue.
I want to see people typing "continue" in chat how you think this is spelled and being wrong.
It's just a really funny artifact of Sound Voltex where there's such weird spellings of everything.
Yeah. This is the much more tame-like side of things. Like, they've taken to using Unicode characters for, like, every character in their song title.
Oh, this song also has a really funny story about what happened in the actual tournament. You'll actually see it very soon. Right here. And the song comes back! So during the actual tournament, someone stepped off the pads thinking the song was done and had to rush back on.
Alessandro.
It's one of those, you gotta not trust anything until it's over.
Yeah, until the result screen comes up. And honestly, sometimes even when the result screen comes up, you're still not safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, and we are in the MBC 2 tier 2s now. So difficulty goes up, the step density goes up by a lot actually. All the tier 1s generally hover somewhere in the 3 notes per second range. All of these are high 3 or 4 notes per second, except for one song. You'll know it when it happens. It's gonna be a little ray shining through.
We're about like
2 clap emojis.
30 seconds. Whenever I play it in my channel, you gotta clap along. The clap is coming up here.
Oh yeah. I got mine ready.
It's coming up right here.
Clap, clap. Clap, clap.
For the tier 2 for MVC 2, by the way. So, yeah. Much like with MVC 1, you're going to see an uptick in the difficulty on the mobs and stuff.
This is the most evil usage of stealth notes, where both the arrow color and the vertical distance was obfuscated, and it had a slightly complex rhythm, and it owned everyone on Skyrim. You're in Infinity Overdrive now.
Yeah, this one is a really fun, we're gonna see it in a little bit, but there's going to be like a single arrow that seems kind of out of place, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna get more and more out of place. This is what I mean, like right here. Just kind of have to like read it at the last second.
It's an arrow that kind of does what the song sounds like.
Yeah. If they,
That's an...
I was gonna say
Go
it's
for it.
like a callback to the Soundvoltex chat where it kind of has you cross over, like, your hand from the buttons to the knob, like, in each instance of that.
And those kinds of notes where it's a very creative use of, I guess, contextual clues and everything, they start to pop up a lot more in mod files as, I guess, time has gone on in general, where people have been thinking of new and